I told you good stuff was coming. I told you, and I'm right. Well, Friday's good news. Friday's always good, and especially this weekend, because we all need to kind of like take some time, enjoy your freedom, hug your family after this week, obviously. But the good thing is the counter reaction to the evil we witnessed this week, both the immediate act, we all know what happened in Utah, but also the immediate reaction to that. People celebrating it, the demons among us, and they are, and I'll continue to use that word. They're evil. The reaction to that, boy, has been something to behold, and it is beautiful. Because normal people don't react to evil with violence. Good people don't do that. But they're reacting now with something else. And let me tell you something. This is my entire theme today. I'm going to dedicate to this. I've heard it said, well, we don't want to get involved with cancel culture. We spoke against that for so long. No. Get that out of your head. Because calling out these demonic creatures, and I mean that, for what they're doing and celebrating an assassination murder, calling them out, it's not canceling. You're just making other people aware of it. Their organizations, school systems, companies, even some media companies, they'll make the decision whether or not to cancel them. And boy, is that happening by, my little unscientific count yesterday was by the hundreds. It's by the end of today, probably into the tens of thousands. And there's a mass panic now. There's a mass panic among those same people that posted and said and videoed, spoke publicly the most horrific possible things in celebration and the dances of a murder. There's a mass panic now among those people to get rid of all their social media stuff because they never considered it. It's truly one of the most amazing things I've never seen. They never thought, because they've had a safe space in social media and digital media for so long, they never thought that celebrating evil would result in a pushback. They never even considered it. And trust me when I tell you, they are wigging the F out right now because they don't know how to handle it. It's incredible. Now, my little unscientific count yesterday, just keeping a tally of things, of documented cases of organizations firing and or suspending people that posted horrific things in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. By my little unscientific count, I counted hundreds. I'm sure it's in the thousands, and it's only going to get going. In fact, there are several. I saw several challenges now where people with pretty big accounts, mostly on X, this is happening, but they're venturing out into Blue Sky and Facebook and everything else. People are challenging other users to find 50 people who have posted horrific things and call them out and make sure that their employers are aware of it. It's not canceling. It's not. Calling out evil isn't cancel culture. Keep going. More on that in a second. We got a lot to cover today. Charlie Kirk came home to Phoenix yesterday. We'll talk about that. As it turns out, he's going to be awarded posthumously the Medal of Freedom as well. A couple of sports leagues, NFL and MLB, did a couple of nice things, speaking of him, to talk about. And at the end of this, we're going to wrap up with the real counter effect and what this means. They just I think they lost the narrative possibly forever, especially with young voters in the aftermath of this. And they don't realize it. Anyway, thanks for finding me. Thanks for sticking with me throughout this entire week. Hopefully I was able to give you some perspective, maybe some common sense through just a wicked, wicked time. Hopefully, anyway. But thank you so much, the audio podcast listeners. And we're live, by the way, for you new followers, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., right here with the live stream. Then it lives on as a post. All the social media platforms, just look for me, Bill Adams, at Wicked Radio, and you'll find it. But anyway, let me start off with this. And this was the first story, and it ironically was the first that got a lot of national attention online, of the first demonic creatures. And ironically, she looks like a sea creature. I mean, it's just perfect. This is one of the ugliest human beings I've ever seen in my life. And it stuck out to me because it raised a red flag, because I know this town and I know this high school. It's Wachusett Regional High School. It's in central Massachusetts. The town is Holden. This just happened to be, and I'll pick on this one, but like I said, I could have cherry-picked thousands of these. This one was a teacher. One of the very first reactions when the news had happened that Charlie had in fact died. A ninth grade English teacher, and her name is Anne Marie Donahue. One of the first to go on Instagram and post in a black background. Just a reminder, we're not mourning. Well, this caused quite a reaction because she was one of the first to dip her toe in the evil water doing that kind of thing. So, by unconfirmed reports, it's all over the media up there, but unconfirmed reports of social media users and citizens that live there and people who have kids in that high school said, a conservative estimate, 400 kids the next day didn't show up to school. I'm sure some of those, maybe it's a safety concern, maybe they were afraid of a backlash, whatever it is. But I had to dig into this more. What I'm seeing is mostly kids and parents and families, central Massachusetts. Key to the story, it's relevant. So outraged that one of their teachers would say this. Well, the pushback is real because the superintendent of the Wachusett School District yesterday sent out this. Today, our school community responded to yet another act of violence, blah, 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 blah. We've been aware that a teacher is accused of making inappropriate comments in response to this event in her own personal social media account. Teacher has been placed on administrative leave. The rest of the paragraph goes on to say it's unacceptable, obviously. Now, administrative leave. I'm sure the way they want to work this, because I know Massachusetts officials, they want to put her on leave until this dies down. I don't think it's going to die down. There is so much reaction to this. Now, every single media outlet in that media market of Massachusetts has pounced on this. I don't think it's going to end there. In the education field, have we seen facing this backlash? An inordinate amount, a shocking amount of teachers are the ones facing repercussions for this. So much so that, well, let's go to Florida for a second, just because I saw this just this morning. The education commissioner in the state of Florida, Anastasios Kamoutsas, Irish, huh? He said teachers are held to a higher standard as public servants, must ensure, so they're not going to put up with it. Governor DeSantis has his back and went on to say celebrating the assassination of a 31-year-old father with 2 young kids is disturbing. It's completely unacceptable. They're not going to put up with it, guys. But how about that? And here's another reason why. Calling these people out and making sure that their employers or organizations or anybody they're associated with, teams, are aware of their behavior. Here's why it's not cancel culture, and you shouldn't even worry about that. In the health field, seen those, a ton of teachers in the education field, seen a lot of that. Anybody that deals with patients, some even first responders, posting, expressing evil in the wake of an evil act. It's your public duty to make sure that people are aware that they shouldn't be around human beings. They shouldn't be teaching people. They shouldn't be providing health care to people. They shouldn't be working in nursing homes. They should not. So now it's happening. Now you finally pushed normal, good, hardworking American patriotic people to the edge. And those normal, good, hardworking, patriotic people, they don't respond with violence. That's not how it's done because they're good people. Because you're good people. You don't do that. But you'll push back. And guys, the pushback is happening now, like I said. My unscientific count yesterday was by the hundreds. It's into the tens of thousands by the end of today. I'm sure of it throughout the weekend. Because now it's catching steam. Now it's catching fire. No one is putting up with this anymore. And I think for the first time ever, it sounds weird, but I mean it. For the first time ever since the advent of digital media, social media, anywhere you can express an opinion, the truly evil creatures that have existed, mostly from the left, have lost the narrative. They lost the conversation. And you may be thinking, well, hold on a second now. I've seen a lot of change happen here, and Trump got elected twice. I think that's when it happened. No. Not the conversation, though. Yesterday, the day after the Charlie Kirk story, was the first time ever they lost the conversation. And you're seeing it now in the reaction that they have, freaking out that they're getting this kind of pushback. They never expected it. Can you imagine to be so demented and sick, but also stupid enough to post in a public setting, which is what social media is, a disgusting celebratory reaction to an assassination of anybody? Can you imagine how stupid and clueless you would have to be, besides the fact that you're sick? They didn't understand the pushback is coming. They have had the safe space and the control of the narrative on these sites for so long. They never saw it coming they would get pushback. Never saw it coming, which is why I say the freak out is real today. People scrubbing social media, scrubbing individual posts, going offline, going off the grid, going dark. A ton of it's happening. Again, probably not realizing that the people dedicated enough to call these creatures out, they'll find it all. What gets posted on the internet lasts forever. and it's happening. And I'm here to tell you, don't feel bad about it. Do not feel bad about the pushback. I'll say it again. That's not cancel culture. That's calling them out. Leave it up to the individual. And good for these organizations. How many media outlets, school systems like the ones I just mentioned there, a ton of them, healthcare organizations, even first responder outlets, aren't afraid to get rid of these people. If you had somebody in your organization that was dark enough in their soul to celebrate a murder, do you want them in your group? Do you want them in your company? Do you want them in your family? I don't. Nowhere. I don't want them. Get rid of them. And all of this got exposed. And I'm telling you, it's a good thing. It's great news. Well, not much on the investigation happening with, the murder. I guess there was going to be an FBI press conference out of Utah yesterday. That got canceled. They have more information. I don't know. They had the Utah Public Safety said they had a picture of the suspect and they want the public's help in identifying him, her, it, whatever the hell that creature is. No updates on that. I got a feeling they're going to have something here pretty soon. But there was this update for Charlie Kirk coming home to Phoenix, Arizona yesterday. This was heartbreaking, but it's quite nice what the administration did for him, too. His body coming home on Air Force 2 to Phoenix.
South 1555, Phoenix 9, wind 2409, runway 26 to the line. Clear line 26, Southwest 1555.
Welcome home, Charlie. You didn't deserve it. May God bless your family.
Yeah, didn't deserve it. All right. God bless your family. It's a nice thing. Along with the news that apparently President Trump announced last night that Charlie Kirk will be posthumously ordered the Medal of Freedom. It's a nice thing. Here's another nice thing. Kind of sad that I was surprised they did this, but both the NFL and Major League Baseball held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Coincidentally, yesterday and last night's games on 9/11 as well. But this was the Thursday night football game between the Packers and the Cowboys, I think.
All right, moments ago inside the stadium, the Packers and the NFL observed a silent reflection following yesterday's events.
The National Football League asks that you please join us in a moment of silent reflection following the murder of Charlie Kirk. The NFL condemns all violence in our communities. It will take all of us to stop hate.
Nice. That was a nice gesture. Also in Major League Baseball, they did the same thing. They held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. And also President Trump was in New York and Yankee Stadium to honor the 9/11 events. But these were kind of like combined into one thing. But remember I was saying that the narrative's different? Keep in mind part of the story. He's in New York. He's in Yankee Stadium. It's about 50 or 60,000 people there. And the chants of USA had broken out. But those weren't the only chants. Yeah, something's changed. New York City. Deep blue New York City. Chanting Donald Trump. On 9/11, after the events of this week. Something's changed. Speaking of, waiting for this to happen, and she was the perfect person to say it. So CNN has a political contributor. She's conservative, but, they always bring on, Fox does it too. They bring on, their whipping boy or whipping girl that the other panelists kind of pick on or whatever. But this was fascinating. I was waiting for somebody to say this. Alyssa Farah Griffin is the, I guess she's the, token conservative commenter on CNN along with Scott Jennings, but she was on there and she made the most relevant point of all, something I've been waiting for somebody to say because it's absolutely true. They really don't understand. The very same people who are in a panic scrubbing their social media right now because of the sick, disgusting celebratory tweets or posts or videos or statements or Facebook posts that they made, those very same people have absolutely no idea what just happened. Not only did you lose the conversation narrative, because good, patriotic, hardworking Americans now, of all ages, are speaking up against it. Everybody is active now, and that's never going back. It's never going back in the bottle. Not only that, but when push comes to shove, they have no idea the impact that this guy made with kids, Gen Z, teens, and early 20s. They have absolutely no idea. But she pointed it out last night perfectly well.
Gen Z is going to be the most right-wing generation in 50 years. Statistically speaking, there was a huge turnout of youth voters for Donald Trump. That was unexpected, something that's usually a Democratic stronghold. There's probably no individual more responsible for that than Charlie Kirk. You really can't underestimate and downplay how influential he was in activating young people and how
Look at what you've seen, if you've seen it at all, on college campuses this week. Now you have kids who normally would be afraid to speak out. Now there's banners, murals being painted. There's flags, posters, and people have made up T-shirts honoring Charlie Kirk on college campuses. Again, I can't say it enough. They have no idea what they've sparked here. Martyr, yeah, it's a pretty good word for it, I guess. But I think even more than that, than his name, his work, being a martyr, they've sparked a curiosity and an awakening in especially those young people now who are looking at the absolutely dark and soulless narrative that has come out for decades now. Again, that they've controlled. So many young people are looking at that going, well, that's not right. None of that is right. What else have they been lying about? And when you do that and you've lost that generation, you've lost for a long time to come. I mean, they're the opposite of the ridiculous ex-hippie boomers who buy hook, line, and sinker everything that MSNBC and CNN and all this other crap sells them. These kids are all right. That's the other piece of good news. They're just fine. So I didn't think it would take such short time, but the pushback on this is fantastic. But here's what you're going to see and hear all weekend long. Now that they know that they're being pushed back against, these demonic creatures that celebrated Charlie Kirk taking a bullet to the neck, these just creatures. It's the subhuman creatures. It's what they're soulless. It's what they are. I'm not going to apologize for saying that. Now that they know they're being called out, you're already hearing it this morning, and you'll hear it all weekend long into next week. Whoa. You know what? Both sides need to tamper down the rhetoric. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The guy that wanted to open up the conversation and understand each other and have honest and civil debate, you shot him in the neck. So go F yourselves with that one. You tone down the rhetoric, and nobody's having it anymore. I told you there was good news. I just didn't expect it by Friday. But it is Friday. Let's wrap this up. Let's get you into the weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your freedom. Hug your family, too, because this was a tough week. It really was. But I'm telling you, and I'll leave you with this, the Great Awakening is happening. People have had enough pushing back against this crap. It takes a lot. I think it takes a lot because our society in America, patriotic Americans just trying to go to work, go to school, raise a family, pay your taxes, takes a lot to activate people. But done. But those same people don't react with violence. They react with common sense pushback, and that's what's happening now. And it's great news. So enjoy it. Thanks for finding me in the Wicked Radio live stream, at podcast, and everywhere. Just everywhere you go, wherever you look for it, you're going to find it. And I thank you so much, especially this week, for following me. Live stream, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., X, Facebook, and YouTube, and then lives on a post as well. It's going to be a great weekend. Enjoy it. Monday, if all goes right, if I have an internet connection and the algorithm is with me, I will be talking to you during the live stream from the high seas on a boat somewhere in the North Atlantic. Fingers and toes crossed. Yeah, I'm going on a cruise, so we'll see what happens there. But I've done this show in the woods. That's not going to stop me. We'll see how it goes. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. I'll talk to you later.